Guys, so today I'm going to be showing you some of the basics of numbers to be able to work on a fraction problem. And numbers is a really great tool to be able to do all kinds of different things, not just make tables and graphs. So you can see on this first slide here, I have a problem and it says Mr. Jones works for an architecture company and needs to divide this house into eighths to find out how much space 2/8 take up. How might he do this? So you can see I have my picture of the floor plan of the house here, and I have my text. Now before we go into that, I just want to show you a couple of things within numbers. Up here at the top, it says design your bedroom and planting a garden. These are different pages in numbers. The second page here is the problem you're going to work on after. In this first page, the first thing I want to show you is you just move things around by tapping on them. Now let's say I want this floor plan to stay put. I don't want it to move while I'm trying to figure out my fractions. I just tap it and I can press the paintbrush. The paintbrush is where all the different style happens. So I can style the image. Okay, I can arrange, move things around, but this one right here is important, lock. So once I lock this image, it won't move anymore. So same thing with the text. I'm going to press the paintbrush, I'm going to arrange, and I'm going to lock it just so it doesn't move around the page. Now to find what eighths would be, a really great way to do this is to add a table. So to add a table to my numbers document, I just press the plus, and then up along here are my different options. So I have shapes. This is also where I add text. I have media. So in here you see there's lots of interesting things, just like Keynote. I can add photos, I can record audio, I can do a drawing. I'm going to show you that again later. Here is where you can add charts or graphs, sorry, and then this part is the charts. So I want to think about this room as a rectangle. So I wonder if I take a table and I put it on top of this, would I be able to break it into 8 parts? I wonder. So now that I've got this table in here, this one doesn't really work. It's got too many rows, too many columns. It has this title I don't really like. So to move the table around, I just press a little circle in the top left, and I can move it like so, okay? If I want to delete this title, I just double tap it, and I can delete it, and you can see there it's deleted. Now, this to me has way too many rows and columns. I only want it to be in eighths. And so I need to think about what would make a table into 8 pieces? Okay. So I know 4 times 2 is 8. So maybe I need 2 rows and 4 columns. So I can do that by pressing these 2 lines here. And if I drag that in, it'll make less columns. If I drag it out, it'll make more columns. So I want to do 4 columns and 2 rows. Same thing here in the bottom left corner. If I drag this up, it'll do less. If I drag it down, it'll do more. There we go. Now I have eighths. I have 8 pieces, 4 times 2. But I have a problem. It's still too small. I can't see anything. I wonder how I can fix that. So one thing that you can do is if you see these 3 little blue dots that are highlighted, if I drag it, it'll make my table bigger. And it'll also make the boxes grow at the same size. So I won't have one box which is small and one box which is big. But you see I still have a problem here because I can't quite see the lines, right? So I need to go back to my paintbrush, which allows me to style everything. You can also change the number of rows and the number of columns here under table. But if I go to the cell and I see down at the bottom here, cell border, this is at the top here what the cells look like. If I tap this one, okay, I can see that it's highlighted all the lines. So all those lines will show up just a little bit darker. I can change the border style here. So if I choose this one, for example, okay, I can see it's a little bit darker. If I want to make it even darker and easier to see, I just change the width here to make it easier. Okay, now if I drag it back on top and I line it up, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I can see that my house is now divided into eighths. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so the second part of the question says he wants to find out how much 2/8 is. But now I just have it divided into 8 pieces. I want to show where 2/8 actually are. So a really great way to do that is by pressing the plus. And if I go into media here, I can add a drawing. Okay, now I can change the color. I'm gonna do like this blue here. And then if I tap this again, I can make it, this makes it more or less see-through. I still wanna be able to see the room. So I'm gonna make it at about 53. Okay, and then I can just color on top of 2/8. Okay, so I'm gonna say, this is 1/8. And this is 2/8 over here. So I can see that 2/8 of my room are shaded. Now, let's say I'm just gonna press done, okay? And then those are my 2/8 that I've shaded in. Now, if I wanna add an audio of explaining what I've just done, I can go here and I can press the media again and it says record audio. And I just press record. So what I've done in this picture is I have shaded in 2/8 of the house that Mr. Jones needs to see to do his building changes. I press insert, and then my little audio is right here. So those are a couple of the quick tricks that you can do in numbers. The problem that you're going to work on today is this one right here, and it says planting a garden. So you're basically doing what I just did. So your first question here is, I need to split this plot of land into quarters so 4 students are able to plant trees. How could I do this? Can you use the drawing tool or emojis to show 3/4 of the space? So over here on the right, I've given you a table and I've given you 4 different tree emojis that you can use instead of drawing if you want to do that. I encourage you to also use the audio tool when you're working on this. When you are finished your work, what you can do is you can do a screen recording explaining the different things that you've done to break the gardens into different pieces. Once you've done your screen recording, you can add your work to Seesaw. What would be even greater is if you did a screen recording as you were working on each garden so that we could understand your thought process. So that's the activity for today. I really hope that you enjoy it and I can't wait to see your work.